played Train again at the major qualifier, at the major itself actually, and that was a game where it was reasonably close, but you could see Astralis was the better team. So I feel as though actually the Optic guys, they still have to have some confidence in Train, but I feel like that's the one in theory, if anything, you can get away from. Something like Overpass feels like a reasonable middle ground to go to.
Something I'm surprised we haven't seen from Optic is Nuke, right? Because they were not like hugely tactical in the sense of like that executes were awesome or anything unusual. It was that they had like a brute force style of play where all the players would stand up. Yeah. And that's what I think you were touching on, where you said like we saw all the players had something to contribute, and at any given moment someone could get a 3K and it would turn the round on its head, and that's very impressive to see. And with these players, like I remember Naf when he was playing in Liquid, and he was almost a non-factor back then.
Yeah, I mean, he used to have a lot of troubles being, he was very, very up and down. We've seen him be a little bit more consistent since Optic came into things and kind of stepped into the role. I think big thing.
You got to figure they're going to ban Nuke here as the last one.
You'd hope so, right? Unless they're
unless that's the Joker pick. Yeah.
I still think Train. Yeah, they like it, but that's going to be a very scary prospect.
I think they're going to go for. Oh no, we're going for the Nuke one.
I guess you can study a lot on what Astralis have done on Nuke, whereas you can't study on what Optic have done on Nuke, because first of all, he goes Nuke, and we haven't seen them play it a lot, right? Yeah. So it's an interesting pick. I like it. It's brave. It's ballsy. I
think the big thing with it, as well as with a new in-game leader and with a new player on Train, you have to be very organized on that map. You have to very much know what you're going to do.
Would that not apply to Nuke as well? I mean, that's probably something that I could attribute to Nuke as well.
I think Nuke is a little bit easier, in my opinion, with some options. Like you're able to turtle up in the inner bomb site. Your rotations aren't always as confused if you can just say, kind of condense things towards the bomb site. You have the quick rotates. You can set up some simple crossfires. Train, I always think that it just gets so hectic out there if you're a new player shoving into it. I think the one benefit they might have had on Train is the fact that Higo can play the inner bomb site, and that's always a nice tool to have. But I think I'm very curious if Peacemaker's calling for this team right now. I would imagine that would have to be it. That's because that can lessen the fact that Naf has to be involved.
Yeah, no, I did see a statement from him. He stated that Naf is doing the calls. I'm just there if he can't think of anything. I think it was an abridged version of what he did say.
It's always good to have that extra voice, right? Even if it's just like to keep everybody calm and stuff like that.
Let's start putting predictions on the board, and we're way back from you, Moses. You seem kind of a little bit of confidence from the Nuke pick. Does it go Optic's way?
I do like it over Train. I'm still going to stick with Astralis on this. The big thing that I saw at the major with Astralis is not necessarily how good they were initially. It's their ability to adapt against all the different opponents and how good all those opponents, that they're able to find the winning whatever combination, the winning tactic that they need to use. So I don't know if Optic's going to be able to have that in their pocket.
Still wouldn't be surprised to see Optic. It seems like that's the general consensus. What are you saying, Sponge?
I think that you're going to see Astralis shaken. I think that pick is going to be really weird for them, and they're not going to know what to expect. So I'm going to make a really bad prediction, and I'm going to go with Optic.
Well, you're covering all your bases there. I'm going for a bad prediction of this is definitely not going to happen, Optic.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Play that back if they win.
Confidence, please. Confidence. Conviction. I'd like your prediction with conviction.
Yeah,
please.
I'm going to take Astralis for this one. When I saw them play against Virtus.pro, who are the best Nuke team, they still looked pretty good. They were in all the way up to like 12, 12.
Rounds,
exactly.
Yeah.
They had a T-side, even though it's a map that in theory is right down the bottom of their map pool. So I think, sure, having their new player, the Optic guys can surprise maybe, but I still think Astralis is going to win this one.
Okay, 1 for Optic, 2 for Astralis. Let's get another 2 predictions on the board. Henry G and Sadakist are standing by, waiting in the wings. You with us, boys?
Yeah, I almost fell asleep listening to you guys, but I'm here.
Oh, good.
Honest Matt as usual.
Nice guy.
He's a delight. Always is.
True. Love it.
Now, it does seem like we've got one believing in Optic and a good justification behind both. What are you saying over on the caster desk?
I think Astralis is a pretty safe pick here overall. Yeah. I think their Nuke is pretty solid. I really like their CT side, especially Zipex and Device on this map. I think Zipex towards the ramp room, very solid, very good at rotations, actually getting down towards lower, surviving, and Device outside as well. I think, from what I can see as well, they're starting the CT side, so I don't see Optic breaking them down.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, oh yeah, we've got the information. We're in the game over here.
Well, Matt, there are Canadians in the server. You surely are.
Yeah, you know what? That's all good and well, but Canadians suck at Counter-Strike. I'm just going to say it. Sorry, Shroud.
Right.
I'm going to go with Astralis on this one as well. I think it's a safe bet.
Aggressive, needlessly,
Optic.
one would say.
Matt
I'm the nicest Canadian ever, and I'm sorry.
Calm down, Don Cherry.
Yeah, there we go. I would say Astralis is a safe bet after the major. I think Optic still has a little bit of work to do. Yeah, they've played each other a lot. Astroptic. Nice. Optic drew first blood at E-League, obviously, but Astralis is definitely on form as of late.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of your hair. We'll leave you to it.
I'm going to get this cable out of my way, Alex. It's good that they're gone. I'm glad. It's just me and you. We're alone now, Henry.
You mastered that cable now?
Yeah, I'm a master of all cables.
Yes.
Some would say. Nuke, again, a Danish team. North, we've kind of talked to them there in the Dignitas forum. We thought was the early leaders on this map. I'd say Astralis, I think, have overtaken them in some ways. I think they're very clean in their executions.
Yeah, they're great on this map. They have a solid understanding of how it should be played. They've got an array of defaults and executions coming in. I really like the way they actually present this as a package. That's why I think Optic right now, Hiko just coming in. Obviously, it's a bit of a wild card factor. We don't know what's going to be coming to the table. And obviously, maybe seeing that auto shotgun. Would you think that's going to be making an appearance?
Hiko is known for it on the old Nuke, which... If anything, you would argue it's the exact same results. There's one vent to go down. You can't slip by and come back up into upper. You can hold the same choke points. I'm not sure. I think maybe once or twice we'll see it. I don't think he'll rely on it quite as much as he used to do.
It's just quite limited, I think. Like in some scenarios, it can work very well. It's just not reliable. Like if you can get the M4, he seems to sometimes opt for it over it. Like it's great for farming cash and keeping money in reserve and being able to drop weapons.
I think they win the pistol round on CT side. I think he brings it out round 2 instead of an SMG. I think in situations like that, I think it's very likely we would see it.
Yeah, I did give a bit of a spoiler. It will be Astralis starting the CT side. To be fair, we saw it at the Major. This map is starting to balance out now. It was famously a very CT-sided map. But the Major is almost 50-50 in terms of rounds 1 on either side. So it depends on the matchup, though. That's what I always like to say. Like it depends on what kind of methodology the Terror team are bringing to the table, whether they have like those set pieces, which I think Optic are going to have. They've always been a team that come in with that dossier kind of strat book, and that's sometimes their downfall. I think they focus too much on the executions and the set pieces and stuff. It's something I interviewed Tarek about a few months ago, actually, and he said, yeah, sometimes they need to kind of find the balance of when the executions are viable and when they should be running just the default good fundamental CS.
Fundamental CS is great to watch. Yesterday, I think we lacked a lot of that. So if we can get back to
that was a bit
clean
of a
Counter-Strike, I think this could
rough
be
day.
This is perhaps the first game in I won't say all the tournament, but definitely on paper that we know is usually a back and forth affair. I think Optic had the toughest draw of anyone just based on how the Swiss system worked out against them at the Major. I think in any other situation, they would have been one of the 8 legendary teams. I think it's highly possible. We know it's very competitive right now in Counter-Strike at the top end. So, who do they replace in that? Is it Fnatic? Is it Gambit? Is it, who do they line up against if North hadn't come back from being 0-2? So there's still a team that can keep up with Astralis on the best of days, and I think that this should be more traditional to what we see. But like we say with Hiko with the shotgun, we'll still see some unorthodox plays.
Definitely. So, in terms of the prediction, do you actually feel like
I still think Astralis? Yeah, I think Astralis has to be the favorite in this. I was obviously having a little fun on the desk, but
you like to do
with
that.
The desk, I do. Yeah, I do. Sometimes I just live for my own entertainment, Henry.
Yes, I've noticed.
It keeps me with my 2 feet and a heartbeat and somewhat sanity.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we are ready to start our first cast of the day. 4 more to go, and it's going to be Astralis versus Optic on Nuke. And this is probably my favourite map to cast, I would think, at the moment, just because it's always exciting to see what the kind of new developments are being brought to the table. Here we go then. Optic. We'll have a look at their buy quickly. It's going to be a Tech 9. No Superman for Hiko. He's got no body armor there. Stanley's got smoke and 2 flashbangs accompanying him, and that's going to be in the hands of Nafla. He's got the bomb as well, and Hiko looking to go out the squeaky door here.
KRB sitting above with Hiko, squeaky doors you mentioned with the Tech 9. It's Glaive that wants to push forward and try and get early information from ramp spots that they're inside of lobby. That's good enough. He's got Zipix behind him to support him off. He knows they're not going to be fully outside or committing to a fast push on that alone, so he doesn't need to overextend. In fact, hasn't even dealt any damage or received any. Just to really whiff shots to try and stir with the opponent, cause a little bit of chaos as Dupree falls back. Skylight's blown out. 2 flashes and a smoke for Naf. And he is out toward the lobby roof, so they could try and utilize that. Hiko would be the one that would likely go quickly upon throwing it, bringing Mixwell back as well from outer. I suspect this goes to an upper take, and a quick upper take at that.
Possibly towards ramp here. You can see they are lining.
As soon as I say it, of course.
Yeah. And Zipix, this is what I was talking about. That's unfortunate for him. He wants to take 1 shot there, take it, then drop down, but he gets taken down by Rush.
So they elect to do what you should do on rotations on this map. Rather than immediately panic, Glaive can't get out of heaven fast enough to get to Turnpike to slow them down from wrapping around, but they have to cover lower. So with 3 players showing at ramp, they know they're not going to be at upper immediately. Drop the player on the floor down. Now, the interesting thing is Optic reads that rotation. By having him down inside of the vents, they're going back to upper, which is now much weaker. Glaive is alone to hold this at heaven. So it's definitely a smart read by Optic, but a lovely shot from Glaive. Takes down Nafly, drops the bomb temporarily. Smokes off on main, won't allow a retake from outer, and Mixwell's lurked in well. He's found Kirby and Dupree trying to rotate back around. Tarek follows up to get Glaive, and it's all on device, locked out at the doorway, dinked up already as well. And down he goes. Very good pistol round from Optic.
Yeah, actually looking pretty solid there. That couldn't have gone better for them overall. They do a slow default to kick things off, go towards ramp, and they find that first pick. Like I was kind of describing in the pregame, Zipex known to be very good at staying alive in this position. You don't really want to be challenging for too long. He took that first shot. Unfortunately for him, though, got his head blown off. And at that point, that was really nice from Optic. They didn't rush. They didn't actually capitalize at that point. They fell back towards lobby. They forced the rotation down towards low, as you pointed out. And at that stage, they go towards upper, where it's going to be weaker. And it's Mixwell doing a great job there with the Glock. So, round number 2 comes in. There will be a full force buy from Astralis here, including Device with the body armor as well. And it's going to be Dupree to open things up with Glaive as well, but balances out as Nafla and Rush do some damage there.
Nice shot from Tarek. SMG's still in the hands of Naf. Down 2 already. Chance if they find another one quick enough for Astralis. I mean, they've already done economic damage, but could pick up the round. It's unlikely. They've got armor, so they have to consider that as well. They pick up the gun, keep the armor, boost the buy for round 3, which we know the CTs have to fully save on, and that's going to be the case because everyone's down and out.
Yeah, we normally talk about rushes and anti-ecos being a little bit dangerous, but on Nuke, I don't mind it so much. Very difficult to hold those off with the pistols. Astralis do a decent job. They get the first 2 kills there, but it's just going to snowball out of control at that point when Optic get into some positional control there with the rifles. They're going to hit the shots, and they managed to get the 2-0. Like I said, there was a force buy from Astralis, including Device. He's the AWPer, of course. That's going to limit him going into that first gun round, and he purchases absolutely nothing going into this round, which makes sense. A couple of PT-50s available for Astralis, another upper rush by the look of things. As we go straight out there, some damage being done, and a team kill comes in from Nafly towards Eco.
Now, him behind the vents, pops back out, spots Kirby on top of the hut. It's just a matter of going through the motions at this point. Zipex limited in a very tiny gopher hole and has to try and make his way out.
Yeah, 4-on-1. Just got that silencer speed. He gets 1 kill here. I'm sure I'll be very happy about that. Goes with the Hail Mary, jumps out, and Mixwell takes him down. Another upper rush coming in. Not really much to report, I'm afraid, because Astralis took a full eco. And we did mention Device's money was going to be low, so he actually cannot buy the AWP. That's a huge string to the Astralis bow on the CT side. He's very good at controlling the outside area, good at rotating, and actually changing his position up almost every single round. They go with 5 rifles here, no kits, and they are limited as well. So this is a chance for Optic. They could do another upper rush here. They know the money's going to be weak. They may not necessarily have incendiaries to slow them down. So let's see whether they try to do something a little faster here.
So great start from Optic to pick up the 3 rounds terrorist side. Map was played out evenly at the major. We've seen terrorist games, terrorist-sided games. We've seen plenty of CT-sided as the map's developed.
Yeah, this is looking rough for Astralis, so lose this round, it's going to be a 5-0 down, and with no grenades left, really. They've got a couple of flashbangs, that's about it, man. And we got the 1 minute 20 mark, and we said Optic like those full executions. Hiko used to do a lot of them on Nuke as well with Liquid, so we know that's going to be coming in at some point. As they make their way towards ramp, it's going to be Zipex to hold them off.
Mix to lead the way, gets shut down by Zipex. Drops immediately, smart play on ramp. This time Glaive has a little bit more motion to try and hold off 4 rotations. Elects to stay upper instead. He'll rotate down the ramp, or rather, excuse me, the rafters as Kirby catches out Nafly. And it's Zipex that's gone well inside of the site, closed off the doors at Toxic as well. No window, no way to peek this. He's got perfect position. Door's gonna open right now, and down goes 1. Planter found by Dupree. Zipex holds.
Even Mixwell, of course, and we still do not have an ult for Astralis, but they're just trying to balance things down now. They have the utility to work with, and they should be able to start sinking their teeth into the CT half.
Mixwell trying for cheeky.
I saw him doing this in warm-up. I saw him practicing this wallbang. I was interested to see whether it actually paid off.
Oh, that's so close.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Interesting.
Just sever his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
Force him to walk around on one leg as it shoots up. Like, you know, if you sever your Achilles tendon, your whole entire calf muscle shoots up like a blind.
Oh my god.
It's one of the most painful things
That's
in the
quite a
world.
haunting image.
Yeah, I half tore one in soccer once, and I was so scared. I didn't like walk for a week. I just was like, I'm gonna hobble around on crutches. I'm not taking that chance.
Well, then we'll have a look at the approach. Looks like it'll be quite a classic affair with the smokes, of course, designed to take the vision away from the CTs towards the secret area. It means you can commit 3 players towards the secret area, or you can just send 1 and then go towards ramp and split the map up the side. The idea is to pull rotations from the CTs, regardless of what your final intentions are. Looks like, though, they will be sending 4 players, actually, outside, and not going to be found out just yet. Not going to be walking as well, completely silent towards that area.
Glaive climbs ladder. It's Device that's got to get the information that they've gone towards Squeaky. 3 go by. Vision restored as smokes are gone, but Device yet to spot the remaining player outside at the red crate. That's Mixwell, who's backed off to hold position and allow his teammates, I should say, plural, the 3 of them down there, the freedom of movement without being flanked. Door open, it's Nafly in the ramp already. That tries to get spotted out by a player on ramp. That's Zipex as always. Rotating down from ramp early, but Naf goes the other direction. They go in through Squeaky. He's going to pinch the upper sight. Follows in the footsteps, and a lovely shot by Tarek to take down Glaive because he was already lined up toward The man from Vent, Rush 19, Device. Same HP, gonna try and retake down a man already, are they? You talked about the 5-0, well, 3-run reset immediately. It's the same situation, and Nafly getting Zipek's Device is trying to just get away, and Mix has been standing outside holding that the entire round.
Yeah, he really has. That's obviously their intention to get towards Upper, have Mix while stopping the rotations coming from main entrance as well. Holds it with the AWP, has to finish things off at the Glock, but a really nice round from Optic, 4-1. And you can see this is actually going to be a really good game as we go into the next round. It's number 6, and there is going to be a force buy from the Danes here. UMPs, Max 7s, and only one M4 here. Still haven't seen the Device AWP. That's why I was interested to see why he force bought on the second round. A lot of AWPers will just go full eco at that point, allow his teammates to force around him, but means he gets the AWP. And there we go, then that wallbang comes in once again. He really wants that to work, but you can hear those shots coming in. You're going to be wary of that in future rounds, so let's see what happens. KRB does get hit. Surely not. Did it actually connect? He's going to have 32 HP. He's in the bomb side.
I'm curious about that. He's down below now on floor.
So he might have just jumped down after it happened?
Yeah, I didn't catch whether or not he landed that or not. I'd love to see it. I'm sure someone will tell
no,
us.
it's blood on the wall. He did get it.
Yeah, he did. And he's climbed back up as well.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. So he has it perfectly lined up with the yellow crossbeam.
That's so cool.
Way to go, Mixwell. Proof that Spaniards are superior in every way.
Yep, I guess that's...
Fernando Alonso, obviously, being the alpha and all of that.
Well, then they've done some serious damage here. No kills obtained yet. They don't have this information that obviously Device and KRB are low, but it's certainly going to help.
Going to wrap around Glaive there. Good shot on the head. Come from the UMP, and there's the shotgun from Dupree. So we're seeing it used on the CT side because economy limited, and he's got another one. Dupree, he's got 3! All the way through to Nafly inside of the site. Gives his team a chance. Mixwell with AWP, last alive, and Bomb is going to rotate lower and go for whatever safety he can find. Question is with the AWP, those new orange boxes in a wide plant, is that where he plays this from? No, to control room instead. And he's immediately walked into a death trap. Device was already there. He didn't expect the rotation to be so swift.
Yeah, absolutely right there. He's looking at completely the wrong angle. Device is holding there with the AK-47. It blows his head off. A decent attempt from Mixwell. Like you said, I think that would have been quite a good call. Like the orange box, you've talked about it a lot. You don't really like it, do you?
I think it's an unnecessary addition. I mean, certainly I would love it if I'm a terrorist in a post-plant situation. I happily say that, but I think it's a little bit too much.
I kind of like it. I think that just in terms of the CT player, it gives you a couple more options as to when it's normally a solo position when you're going down. At least you got somewhere a bit more cover. You don't have to be behind the bomb site or trying to get towards decon. It means you can kind of have that more kind of lying in wait approach. Here we go then. The AWP Device finally comes in, and that's a big round. Dupree with that shotgun, picking up 3 frags.
Derek limited to a Tech 9 already. Curious in itself, given that they've gone back and forth for a few rounds. He's been knocked down on the cash. 800 left over post-buy. But he wants utility instead. Could have potentially gone for something far different. And he'll wait out toward the roof as well. Nafly above is the one that continues to blow at the skylights every single round, so credit to him. Proof the Canadians are superior at Counter-Strike, as I said at the start of this segment, Henry. I think that was the direct quote.
Yes.
They are incredible at Counter-Strike.
Well then, we've got Device, like we said, moving around with his AWP. He'll be towards ramp room this time. Nice little adjustment there. And this is the full execution by the looks of things from Optic. It's going to be Dupree wide to receive. He gets a first kill.
And there's another one as well. Dupree playing very well on the floor. Glaive shoots through the door. Dupree gets assists on both of those, so 2 for 2 and 2 for Dupree in the round.
Yeah, well, you normally want to be dropping the Molotovs on top of the hut. That stops that being a risk at that stage, and you can see that looked very comfortable. Dupree didn't even look flashed. It was sort of an execution from Optic. They did throw the flashbangs in and some smokes as well, but you can see those flashbangs that are coming through the skylights just not doing anything to Dupree. Very easy for him, drops down. Really nice play overall. And we go into a fleek here for Optic. It's going to be 4-3 in their favour still, but should be a 4-4 affair. They'll be going towards outside, and Device changing it up once again. He'll be towards outside. Looking at his first pick, and he spots one. Doesn't connect the shot though.
I really thought they were going to go for a run boost there. The X-ray misled. He was actually on top of the red box. I thought they were on top of each other and he would bait the shot, but Device doesn't need to be baited. He'll hit the shot regardless. Dupree getting heat go, lining up a main entrance. He's been impressive so far. This CT side has turned much due to his performance, especially nice shot, Mixwell, especially with the shotgun when they were limited on cash to pick up their second round. Glaive closes out Mixwell, who, as I mentioned, had a lovely deagle shot similar to that of his cash deagle shot. Remember that one with the fadeaway jumper?
That was quite lovely. I do remember it well.
I think you still dream about it. Things like that occupy your mind.
Yeah, among other things. But Dupree, he is doing a stellar job right now on that upper bomb site. Another 3-man spray down for him. As we enter round number 9, it's going to be another buy available for Optic. No mix or AWP this time, but it's not really necessarily a big deal on Nuke. It's not a requirement to have the AWP, of course. You can have the 5 rifles, be very comfortable indeed. Gives you a bit more mobility. Obviously, a very tight, close quarter action on Nuke, especially towards the lower bomb site. So Device, where is he going to be this time? We'll have a look and check in. He's actually on towards the catwalk outside, so he's doing a great job of being dynamic and just having that surprise factor almost every single time. And he's actually maybe have a little bird's eye view of his smoke execution towards outside.
Oh, timing is everything. They go back to peek it. Tarek thinks he can shuffle out against an AWP. Gravely mistaken, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and Device has done his job at this point. He gets that first AWP kill and he falls back. He could challenge again, but they've got the advantage, and now whatever execution Optic had in mind, that's been stifled. It's going to be slowed down. So round number 9 and 5-on-4 situation. What's the play here? Optic still with a little bit of utility, but lacking smokes. Going to be getting control of Secret, but how's they going to get this next frag and actually
Curious, with control of Secret, curious to how Hiko approaches the round at this point. Because he's slowly playing around in the radio room. If he goes toward ramp, Device is still waiting on an AWP. If he can bypass Device, that's when the take becomes a real threat. Dupree's down below in the decontamination stairs. Zipix, he's already gone into position as well. That gets a turnpike. That'll help out support Device's position, but a lovely shot already coming in from Mixwell. Starts to send shivers down the spines of Astralis and gets them a little bit antsy. They have to move down below. So it's really a game of wits at this point in time. Glaive's going to bring back up and give a support nade. Molotov at Squeaky, but he gets Molotov off the second he goes the other direction. This becomes a bit of an issue. He's locked out of the round. Device hits Rush as they manage to get through slower and gets caught out because they can't transition in time. They have to be more sure of their rotations. Time is a factor, though. 5 seconds. Kierby, 1 versus 1. Nafly, I think, just got there in time, and he's going to get the plant in. But the 1 versus 1 will commence. Bypass due to the flash. Problem is, does Nafly hear this? Does he read it? Does he spot Kierby in time? I think he's read that he's gone to the left, so he'll play a tighter angle. Doesn't matter where he's gone on the stairwell now. As soon as he enters the site, there's a line for Nafly to look through. And he spots him jumping in the air. Surely has to hit that shot. Very low on HP. Gets tagged once more as well.
Yeah, Kierby getting unlucky there. He knows he's in towards that corner, but as soon as he jumps up and actually commits to falling down towards the bomb site, it actually gives the opportunity to spray him down, and all he had to do was really land a couple of bullets there, and that would have been it. But here's the replay from Device. Did a good job at the start, but Optic recovering quite nicely. Hiko was actually instrumental there. Device gets that kill towards Rampram. He assumes he's going to be covered at that point. He's already eradicated the danger, and Hiko comes in, takes him down. 15 seconds. The bomb goes down with about a second to spare, and it goes in favor of Optic. So, going to round number 10 here. And they're going to be limited, though. That 1v1 does cost Optic. You can see they've got a couple of kills here. Opting for the smoke grenades instead of the heavier firepower. And for now, a slow-paced round, and we do have a Device AWP still. He's going to be backed out towards outside as well. Yeah, you're right.
Glaive. Oh, he's got to have seen him, surely. Tagged to 11, he's got to back away. It would have been a massive early pick for him to find. Our 10th round, 5 already for Optic. Would have been a great pick, especially if Device could have, or excuse me, rather Glaive could have faded away on that. Fallen back without taking damage and getting a kill. But now it's up to Device to hold it off. Molotov goes wide of the smoke's gone for the full wall, no gap. Device needs to transfer, and I think at this point climb to heaven or just sit CT. He's going to try and sit with the rail. As a response to this, Dupree gets a lot closer onto the main entry. They're going to hear him jumping around inside of that. Device is trying to catch them on the wrap. Could just barely see them, but he gets 2 for 1. They line it up. They think they're in safety, and his angle, it works out perfectly. That allows Dupree to stay alive, get the information there. Does overstep the mark slightly and fall to Tarek. But it's a 4 versus 2. Glaive, still tagged dearly from the start of this round, just has to play passive and hold off inside of the ramps. As he's done so many times, it's all about information and support for Kierby, who's on top of the hut. Hiko, meanwhile, is down below Kierby, trying to get through the hut. He's caught out by Astralis. Zipix with that kill, and he follows it up.
Well, Device there with a lovely collateral kill. I have to say, Optic have an interesting approach. If they drop all those outside smokes, then walk in front of them. Obviously, they're hoping that the smokes will bait Device made to rotate down towards lower. You can see him just walk into his crosshair at this point. I don't think he can believe his luck. He's like, okay.
Well. He almost got caught moving as well.
Yeah. A very interesting round indeed. It's going to be 5-5 at Astralis, tying things up, and there's going to be some investment. Actually, a pretty much full force buy. There's going to be one player left of about $1,000. That's Tarek. They've got Tech 9s, some body armor, a few smokes as well, so maybe more the same. Smoke towards outside, could fake that and actually end up towards upper. We'll see what they decide to do.
So Naf doing everything he always does, takes out Vents again to try and mask any future plays. Quick flash down. Smoke set. I think that one is the one for Heaven, if I'm not mistaken, which we just saw Tarek lining up for. Keep an eye on whether or not that was thrown. We snapped away too soon. There's none up there at this point in time, so unlikely. They do have Squeaky smoked off, but this round, you've got to say, is Astralis' chance to really take the stranglehold on the game. They've got to get away with this while they can and convert it to get a lead on the CT side.
This will finish up towards upper. They can see they're setting up smokes now. One for main entrance. Got a couple of flashbangs. Molotovs to the hut roof this time, I would say. That's a Dupree. Was causing a lot of damage before. Got to have that Molotov down if they're going to have a chance.
Molotov actually doesn't go to hut. It goes to rafters. The second one goes towards Squeaky on the inside defensively. Smokes on main, but it's actually going to be a ruse. They want to go over toward ramp and drop down and get to the lower site. Xyp9x has read it well. He's already transferred down below, and he's going to play B sign by the blue box or the orange boxes. Cover left side entrance. But then after throwing the execution, causing the rotations, Optic's actually getting away with these fakes, which seem almost hesitant, but they've got a strategy with them. The problem is there's two players on upper in great positions. One of them's Kirby, though, and he's tagged. 16, that forces him off of Squeaky, forces Dupree to rotate back up. It's all about Glaive's positioning right now on rafters. If they get by Dupree, Glaive's got to step up, but the first task is getting by Dupree. He gets 2 before Hiko responds. Device and Kirby close out the rest.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that call from Optic. When you're so limited like that and you've got Tech 9s and a very small amount of utility, you might as well use it to your favor. So they go for the full fake at that point. They've used all the Molotovs, the smokes, the flashbangs towards upper. They're trying to bait out whatever the CTs have, of course, but then they go back towards ramp. They don't find a kill, end up back towards upper after all the utility has been extinguished, and then you're just thinking, okay, now how do we even get any kills at this point? They've actually recalibrated and managing to spray us down as we walk into the bomb site here. So this will be an Optic full eco at this point. They've got a PT-50, 1 flashbang. They get the bomb down vents. We'll see what they decide to do.
Mixwell back toward ramp, or rather, excuse me, lobby with the rest of his team. Dupree playing main entrance as always, has the crossfire set with Kirby, who's just been on the floor pretty much everywhere, aside from the one round he got tagged through the wall.
So they've got this flashbang towards ramp. Chuck it in. They know Xyp9x normally here by himself. He doesn't have to overcommit here, but he knows they're going to be eco. He'll go for 1 frag and probably try and stay alive at this point.
Glaive's a bit late to rotate onto Turnpike, but he's there. Importantly, he's there, so they're limited to the ramp room itself. Glaive just needs to hold that door. Xyp9x has already rotated down. That's fine. You can have the ramp room. We'll just respond accordingly with rotations. And again, Optic is hesitant. They go back out to lobby. So they push them back. Okay, yes, they're causing movement from the CTs, but movement that's easy to take back. As soon as they rotate out of radio, Xyp9x just climbs back up the ramp. Device actually, okay, take it back. In this case, is the one to do it. Guess what? Now they've got radio covered off. Device hits Mixwell on Turnpike. Everything's back to normal, and they get nothing out of that first exchange.
Yeah, indeed. That's the first frag going against him as well. Nafly, low HP. Can't really do much yet. Just hope you can find a kill, but KRB just mowing them down. Not really breaking a sweat there, and he actually finished up with 4 kills. And pretty successful round overall. Optic are really relying on these fakes right now, it seems. And
almost too much.
Yeah. And
at first, I thought it was very clever. The pistol one seemed clever, and then now they seem like they're overdoing it.
Yeah, that's always been a problem. They think a little bit too much about the tactics, I think. When you have 1 flashbang, and you've got Glocks and PT-50s, maybe just flash upper and just commit to it. Instead of faking, like, even if the fake's successful, yes, you have ramp room, but what are you doing at that point? Anyway, another gun round comes in. It's 7-5. Astralis finding their stride at this point. Not going to be bringing out the AWP once again as of yet. It's going to be Device on the M4A4. And in terms of the buy for Optic, no AWP on their side either. But they have got 5 smokes, a couple of Molotovs. And we'll see whether they can get back into this. They had a really good start. They're up 4-1 at one stage, but it's been an Astralis affair since about round number 6.
So hold steady, hold true to position. On Optic, I have to say, winning the pistol, I think, is making this game look much closer than it is.
Just to note as well, Xyp9x got boosted up in the ramp room. That's a really nice adjustment for him. He's shown his hand, how he's playing defensively, going for 1 frag. Now he's boosted up, a heavy commitment. It's going to probably pay off for him if they do go towards ramp.
Well, that's the question. Do they go that direction? Right now, it's back to the same, with the skylights blown out. Smokes go down. That's thrown from the, I'm not sure we saw that one on stream, that one that just landed, thrown from the left of the roof, lands inside of main entrance. It's actually a very powerful smoke, especially with Dupree been playing in that position, but guess what? He's moved as well. One already. Kirby follows up. Glaive rotates in, pushed through the smoke that they lay, and it's all on to Mixwell, 1 versus 3. I won't rule him out of it quite because Kirby and Glaive are both tagged up. It's up to Xyp9x to try and make sure he gets himself in the right position to support his teammates, and he's already gone towards Squeaky.
Yeah, they adjust the set piece a little bit this time, but unfortunately for Mixwell, this is almost unwinnable. He's got 20 seconds remaining, the bomb down towards upper. We'll see whether he can do anything with this. He's actually got himself in an interesting position towards ramping, but time running out. We'll slowly get towards heaven, but let's see if he actually pays off. I think he's maybe just been called to save the weapon.
Yeah, 11 seconds, that's done. Keep the AK, because money is still grim. In fact, they're all bought fully into this
So,
round.
Matt, in terms of what we've seen from Optic so far.
Henry.
Yes. That sounded very formal, didn't it?
It did.
The pistol started off great. They were coming out, firing all cylinders. And now, since the gun rounds have started, once again, this criticism I've always given towards Optic, they're really focusing on these executions all the time. Instead of like doing the defaults, getting towards secret, then going as a unit and kind of like getting some map control, establishing themselves on the map, they're just holding up, doing nothing, 40 seconds, and then executing, not really getting much for it.
This reminds me of that really annoying kid in matchmaking who thinks he's good at the game because he knows one thing to do at the start of the round. He's got this one smoke, but as soon as he throws the smoke as a default, he has no idea what to do afterwards. He has no idea how to implement that smoke. And it seems like Optic, they have a general idea of how to start the round, they just can't finish it. They don't do anything with the smokes. Even the smoke on main that time. You smoke off main. I haven't seen one smoke additionally to get down vents, to try and cause rotations. They just walk in every time to crossfires.
Well, I have got the mix for AEK this time, but he's been tagged down to 40 HP, trying to get that first kill. But Zipex, like I said, very, very good in his round position. He finds a couple of kills here. Glaive goes down, though. Maybe a slight overcommitment considering his position there, but I think the damage has been done with his man advantage. They know it's a very weak buy from the terrorists at this point. Just fall down, make them actually commit before you take another frag out.
Nafly does get on the ramp this time, but again, Zipex has gone passive. Same position in Toxic that he played in the first gun. Device as well as rotated, so this gives him great position in 3, 2, 1. Spotted. Device, slow reactions. Does get the headshot on a Naf, but surely he has to be traded on that. He was low HP. Doesn't get the kill, and Zipex will close the round.
Yeah, once again, they get their map ramp control. They seem a little bit lost when they get something on the map, but unfortunately for them, they'd already lost that man advantage. Limited, of course, with the grenade. They only had one AK and some Tech 9, so it's going to be round number 15 here. It's been quite a quick half, I have to say, since the gun rounds really began. It's just like trying these executions, rushing towards upper most of the time. I'd really like to see the outside smokes they've got. Maybe you're going to try the fakes. That's the way you do it. You do the outside smokes, and then you're going towards upper at that point, trying something a little bit different. But we'll see what happens in round number 15. It's going to be a difficult round for them. I haven't really seen too much from Optic so far. It's impressed me, but it's going to be 4 AKs, 1 Galil for Mixwell. And they have got the smokes and Molotovs to work with once again, but let's see what kind of options they go for now.
So he go toward lobby, will hold off for any pushes, as again they set the smokes. I still want to see more teams throw the heaven smoke. I pointed out the one that goes toward main entrance from the left side of the roof. There's one that's basically the same from the right side that lands in heaven. You can throw a Molotov as well that lands there. Device going to push the side of the smoke, spots the foot. Whether it was the foot or perhaps a red dot radar based on crosshair placement, I'd love to see it with X-ray off. It could be misleading for us, but he does get a kill, more importantly, and does massive damage to Tarek and Nafly.
That's right. So he's got a lot of information there, slowed them down, and still a 4-on-4, which traditionally favours the terrorists. I'd say not so much on Nuke. It's not really a rotation sort of map, but Zipex, he's boosted up in that ramp room once again. And we said very strong position. He's going to be pushing towards lobby, though, trying to get some intel for his team. That's the final commitment here from Optic. Mixwell showing his hand towards heaven. Maybe a little bit of a distraction here. Needs to find this kill, which he does take down.
That allows them to wrap outer for the first time the entire map. But Zipex is going to try and get clever to make sure that they don't get much with it. He's rotated back out to hold off heaven. They can't get toward the ladder. They could go, obviously, the new route. But Zipex going down opens up all possibilities. It's Dupree that has to line them up. Gets bomb in the corner. Good response from Nafly. But Kierby's still on the floor. His time to shine. He knows they're both out toward main entrance, but down the ramp, or rather, excuse me, the vent they will go.
Yeah, good call at this point. They know exactly where he is. 10 seconds remaining. They can safely plant, and it's going to be a really difficult round now for Kierby to get into this. He has got a couple of flashbangs here. 2 players to find, one of which is low HP, but this would be a blunder for Optic to give him a chance here. They're playing together, which is the correct way to do it. Just face the bomb together, but it's a tight choke point. He could get the double sprayed out now.
Smoke off on the bomb. He's got 2 flashes. Be better if he had a smoke, obviously, to try and make a play. Drops down, they'll hear that. Has to get aggressive immediately after. Positional and surprise is gone. He's going to try and walk around and Hiko. He's not in the corner that Kierby expected. It'll go 9-6. Optic with 3 rounds after pistol and then only 3 guns.
Yeah, they started off very well. 4-1. That's the opening sector of Nuke here, but the half finishes 9-6. Mixwell doing a very good job there towards that last round, and here's the replay, Matt. You wanted to see it. Can you see his foot?
3, 2, whoa, I'm not sure. I can't, but depends on his graphic settings, I suppose.
Obviously, Go TV, they're using high graphics and everything. It's going to look a little bit different. But,
and the crosshair placement wasn't dead on, so I'm not sure it would have been the radar.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about there, in CSGO, if you hold the crosshair on towards the smoke and someone is within that, sometimes you can see the players pop up on the radar on your top left. But there it is, 9-6. Still a decent half overall for Optic, all things considered. But like I said, they did focus a little bit too much on strategy for me instead of actually just getting that map control. I think they only really went towards lower through Secret once, and they did actually get a headshot. They took down Dupree initially. It was just finishing off the round was a bit of a problem, but there it is. Astralis. 15 frags to Dupree. I think he had a very solid half, some very big rounds sorted up at bomb site. Seemed like it was a little bit too easy at one point for him. Didn't really get flashed or challenged when he's on top of the hut.
Astralis, with that stat on the screen, obviously means they won their first map with losing both pistols, something that you definitely can't have as a statistic for an entire tournament. They'll have to win a pistol eventually. Maybe it'll be this one. T-side Nuke. Probably the one pistol I would want.
Well, it's Glaive. Surrounded by 4 sets of armor. He's got a smoke and 2 flashbangs here. He's actually towards outside by himself. His teammate's not giving anything away just yet, but Device is making his way towards ramp room. We'll see whether the CDs can hold them off here. It's going to be Naf towards that position. The bomb's still down towards T-spawn, so I don't think that commitment will be coming in just yet. Nafly challenging with that USP takes a bit of a peppering there from the Glock, but they're not going to commit just yet. They're just trying to push him down towards lower and take some of his vision away in that area.
Naf will slip in behind the spot formerly known as Headshot. Doesn't seem to get talked about as much. No one seems to play there quite as frequently on this version of Nuke. Glaive gets toward red box and will spot towards secret stairs. Tarek is down below and getting ever closer to peeking. He'd favor the USP here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a guarantee. He's missed quite a few shots. Finally does land ahead of Glaive.
They just need to commit now.
Covered off though, they can drop down off of Silo, but Tarek spotted that player during the exchange before the smoke bloom. Relays the information. Mixwell surely has to land this. He's running low on ammunition and they're getting ever closer. Reload comes in, no time for it. Device, Dupree, kills on the way through. Dupree follows that up as well. Without Device beside him any further, it's down now to just Dupree. That's where both players are already. It's a lovely shot on Nafly. 30 seconds left in the round. Doesn't have to commit to the plant. He's got the space to do it. Ray peeks out toward main and realizes that's the case, so down the bomb will go immediately, and Tarek forced to commit. No kit, at least not on his belt immediately. There's one inside of the site. 3 HP for Dupree. He's got to get very clever and smart about his peaks. He wants to get the elevation. Jump's going to give it away easy for Tarek at that point.
Made the step there. Wanted to jump up on the third box, but makes a bit of a blunder with the footstep. And Tarek, although he misses quite a few shots in that round, he does pick up 3 kills and wins the 1-on-1 as well. So big round for him overall. Defuses the bomb with ease at that stage, and a difficult one to clutch out there. And I thought Nafly made a huge mistake there towards upper. When he actually was towards heaven, they've got a 2 versus 1 situation. And the fact you're not waiting for him to commit to a plant or anything like that, he goes to the face, makes it a 1v1. Luckily, all is forgiven when they win the round, but it's going to be Optic picking it up. Bomb planted, of course, so you'd assume... Oh, I was about to say AK's coming out in the third. Dupree's getting with the deagle and head armor. Doesn't look like his teammates are following suit, but obviously got a few more kills than his teammates in that previous round, so that's all he's going to be bringing to the table here, and I'll assume the AKs will come out next round. There's the auto shotgun, that it is out. You called it. Second round. Win the pistol.
Yep,
it is.
That's the perfect time. So 0-4 now Astralis in this tournament with pistol rounds. Tarek, M4 will play a long angle at outer. Just spots one on top of Silo, Twinkie, whatever you call it, wherever you live. Won't be able to get the angle onto Dupree. I want to see Hiko get a massive spray down Dupree with a deagle. How is it that every time he hits those shots?
Yeah, one of the best players in CSGO with the Desert Eagle for sure. Opens things up. That's Tag going down. He's the outside player, so there are some options available. 1 flashbang, though, so we'll see if they go back towards lobby, perhaps, or want to try and get down towards secret. But Hiko, he's patrolling that upper bomb site with the auto shotgun, looking towards main for now.
This is where you almost want to see Mixwell get more aggressive toward main and cover Hiko on top of hut. But in giving up outer, they're going to transfer that shotgun into a better position, closer to the top of the ladder. They've rotated Rush. He's ready for the wraparound on Catwalk. Naf's down below, and Rush will pick up Dupree with the FAMAS, forcing, therefore, a drop down from Kierby, who manages to take down Nafly on his arrival. But he's now the only one left alive, as Mixwell's cleaned up, does get aggressive toward main, forces the issue, figures out where they've gone, and Kierby has the chance to surprise him, but he's gone just around the corner before he can, and bomb, it's down inside of the site. That's round over. Rush finds it. We go 1 round the difference, and there was a bomb plant in the first, so gun rounds immediately.
Indeed, and then Dupree found a kill as well, so he managed to get an AK and head armor as well, even after buying the deagle in the previous round. So 5 AKs come in. Distinct lack of utility. You can see they've got a couple of smokes and flashbangs here, and Optic are going to be aware this will be the buy coming in. They've got themselves 1 and 4, make it 2, and a couple of UMPs, and of course that aforementioned auto shotgun as well. Hiko is very good at it as a specialist for sure. We'll see whether he can do any damage here this round.
It's going to need to be a specialist. 4 kills for him so far in the match. 4 and 14. Rush starts off with Dupree going down. Mix going to hold off the orb. He goes in, lands at Zipex's feet. That puts him on 52. Tries to follow it with a Molotov, but Zipex backs away. So damage and lack of ground against Astralis. Meanwhile, Device, though, wants to get into the secret. I'm not sure Tarek would have spotted that. I don't think he was peeking when Device went by, but he has to consider it a possibility without any read, without any information. Assume the worst. Tarek does do great damage onto Kierby. Tags him to 10. Glave's hoping someone gets careless and walks out toward him at main entrance because he's just holding the door, but instead Mixwell's backed away. Oh, that's a great shot. Shotgun not yet in play. Device finds Tarek. This turns 2 very good kills. Tarek had to respond to the fact that Glaive made an entry kill toward the upper site. This changes the entire complexion of the CT defensive lineup. Nafly has to leave the ramp room. He goes to heaven with a UMP. And Hiko, he's still on the upper site with Rush and hoping for a crossfire that's favorable, but right now Astralis, they're not committing to it. They've got options and they're getting ever closer onto the secret position as well.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be finishing up towards lower. They have got a smoke. Normally most teams will open up the orange door on the right-hand side, smoke onto the bomb side, and see if he can get the bomb down now.
The interesting thing about this Device is still outside because he wants to wrap around. This means he's got to join Zipex, get down vent, and pinch together on B site, which has been rotated and fortified by the CT. So it's still not an advantage, if you will, for the T's getting into the B site because they're all there and the 2 players from ramp are not. They've just arrived now. And now it's a 3 versus 3 because Rush is taking down Kierby with nade. Bomb planted left side silo from ramp approach. Can be covered off in the post plant by Zipex, by Device, and Glaive, who's inside a control room, finds 2. Naf and Rush go down. That's pretty much round over. Hiko's got a shotgun.
Yeah.
He has a kit, but a shotgun in this situation, too
Horrible.
far.
Yeah, he pulled out the PT-1000 at one point there. This one's a little bit more favourable for him, even though he gets the headshot. Glaive takes him down. That's why I'm not a fan of the weapon overall. Glaive actually getting 4 kills in the round, just to note. He actually had a fantastic shot in that main entrance position.
It's amazing if he's on hut and they run right into him.
Look at this.
After, it's like an op on a retake. Once it's into that situation, it's just nothing. It's not possible.
That was so sick from Glaive. I don't think you called that. It was like a pixel you could see at the head of the hut. It was really, really nice. Okay.
He's definitely got skill as well as the in-game leading approach that Astralis needed, but it's going to be back to pistols immediately for Optic. 5 AK-47s out on the terrorist side. Device going aggressive towards outer. Quick peek over the box. Has already flashed off and knows that no one's gotten aggressive against him, so he'll hold position. And the rest will set for what appears to be a slow pick strategy, knowing the economic situation.
Yes, indeed. Well, they're going to be fully aware it's going to be pistols this round. Optic with a Deagle, a 5.7. Nafly's got some body armor. Heck, Mixwell gone for head armor. He's predicting maybe a couple of SMGs come in to the fray, but 10-8. Astralis pick up a big round there. And Device with some decent outside control. He'll be towards the garage already at this point. So the CT's trying to push in, see if they can do anything towards ramp up. See if Nafly walk into the lion's den here, and his teammate will drop with him. Glaive with another double kill there, and that should be round over.
Kirby holding. Well, catches out Hiko, walking through. Dupree opens and shuts the door. Mixwell is behind it. I think Dupree closed it. I don't think that was Mixwell, so I'm not 100% sure they'll know he's there. Flash goes out. Perhaps they do. And up from rafters, Device just slips in. Not even the angle he was expecting. It's all onto Rush.
Well then, after winning the pistol, third round goes against him, and now Optic in a difficult financial position. They only get 1,900 into the next round. Nafly with only $100 currently, so he actually forced into that one. We'll see whether they decide to force into the next one. You can see Mixwell with a decent amount of cash. He could bring out the AWP if he so wishes, but in terms of Nafly, he'll be on towards a pistol. So just Rush now to see if he can do anything with this solid GSP, pushing towards the ramp room. And yes, the round's certainly over. Not really much he can do in this situation. It could be spotted as well as Zipex to finish things off. 11-8, Astralis increase their lead here as we go to the next round. This is when it's going to be interesting. You see Nafly, $2,000. So, AWP does come in from Mixwell. I think that's the right call to make with your player very limited, like Nafly's going to be. Want to get that AWP out.
Rush is going to be UMP at best, not FAMAS. Okay, all right. Goes for the older tactic.
Yeah, you don't see the FAMAS as much these days, do you?
It's usually UMP in this situation, but he goes for the FAMAS. And Naf, as you mentioned, with $2,000 has to be limited to a 5-7 rush. Flash over, wants to get aggressive. Counter flash, but both being blinded in turn. He continues with his back turn to rush around the corner, and it works. He catches out Device. Mixwell had one before that. Off from out of the long corner, catches off one on Silo. They don't account for is Kierby, who's managed to slip in and evade them. He's gotten aggressive. He has to know. The shot from Mixwell came from there to kill his teammate on top of Silo. Surely he has to at least look to that corner, but he gets taken down. And it brings back the advantage in the way of Optic by 1. As Glaive gets to lower with bomb, it's going to be a fast plant. Dupree is not yet in position. He's still holding at radio. He wants to try and hope that he hears rotations going to ramp and catches them off. In fact, he has to get aggressive now. Lower on the HP, still manages the shot. Now he has a position to get in post plant. Bomb's not planted for ramp, but he can at least peek for information and help Glaive from decontamination. Door open. So no element of surprise, and Glaive's actually going to push all the way through. He knows they're coming from ramp, or rather, excuse me, from vent. He spotted it perfectly and walks in and catches them off.
Glaive's having a fantastic game here in the second half. Really well done. That was actually almost a 5-on-3 at one stage, and then a couple of kills coming in Astralis' favor, and Glaive makes an amazing decision there. Just get down the lower as quickly as he possibly can, get that bomb plant, and as soon as he does it, you can see Optic crumble at that point. Glaive actually, that's a small nuance there as well. He throws a Molotov in towards the vent. It means they can't actually afford to sit there in that position. Have to go down very quickly, take some damage going into that area as well. I thought Optic would be taking a timeout at this point. I don't think we've seen one this game as of yet. So difficult times for them, and losing some big advantages. We're going to round number 21. It's going to be PG-50s, a Desert Eagle, and no grenades to work with here. So fast towards outside. That's going to be Astralis and Device leading the charge of the UMP. He's already got down towards Secret, and Dupree continuing his good form as he finds Mixwell. Double kill.
Bomb dropped. Intentionally to begin with, has now gone towards Secret.
Look at Device, he's in the vents. They have no idea he's going to be coming into this position.
He's just waiting for them to want to rotate.
Does he spot one?
Not quite sure he would have spotted the feet on top of the hut. But he can still hold the angle. Neither vent is blown out, so he's got element of surprise no matter which way they go. Dupree, meanwhile, is going to hold off the hut for rotations. Tarek gets KRB. That opens up a gun for them to grab. At this point, they're going to be going into a 4th round loss bonus. A gun carried over at $2,400 in the bank, and now build that a little bit further, $2,750 for Tarek. It's worth it. I'd say see if you can get to those guns. They want it, but Dupree's going to try and hold them off, and as that happens, here comes Device from behind. 1 and done. Second kill goes his way, both on the SMG, so his money gets built up massively. They're over 5 digits on both Dupree and Glaive. Device not far behind.
Yeah, lots of money here available for Astralis, and this is looking rough for Optic. The T side was pretty as far as, but we'll see whether they can bounce back here. Certainly not over yet. 13-8. Tarek on the AWP this time. An interesting decision. Mixwell maybe not feeling it today, although he has got 16 kills. Maybe Tarek will see where he decides to go. Maybe something a little bit special going to be deployed as we go into round number 22 here. Device on the AWP himself, and he'll be going towards outside, and that's where the AWP is waiting for him. So boosted up to red, and it's going to be 2 CTs. Actually make it 3 towards outside, but he can't find that first shot.
Shot successful from Rush in turn against Device. This is their lead they needed,
Wow.
but again, it gets turned around. KRB, as soon as they exchange at corner, every single time, KRB's able to slip up from the silo onto the new cat and take them down. 2 kills in return, massive deficit. Hiko, M4 this time. He's not going to go back to the shotgun. And he's going to try and hold from floor inside of the smoke. Knows they're wrapping in from Squeaky. Does well to find the kill, but spraying through, hoping that Glaive's going to walk out in front of him. It doesn't work. Nafly's got to stab them from behind. It's going to be shut down immediately. KRB the one to do so. 3 kills for him in the round, and a 4th potentially on a platter. If Tarek misses even 1 shot, surely he'll go down, and that's exactly what happens. 14 rounds for Astralis.
And it's a timeout as well. Everyone on Astralis right now is just firing on all cylinders. They're taking turns to have massive rounds. Glaive's had some absolute blinders. Dupree as well. KRB with a 4K there. After he loses the first frag, his star player Device goes down, he strikes, finds 4 kills in total, and this put Optic in a really difficult position here. Yes, they have maximum loss bonus, 5 rounds lost in a row after picking up the pistol. Here's a nice little replay of Kiabi, and you have got a timeout for the first time from Optic. You only get 1 timeout, and I think it's for a period of 2 minutes in total. And they have $3,400 pretty much across the board here for the CT side, looking down the barrel of match points as well. So what's their play here, Matt? Do you go for the force buy and try and elude that? And take the risk, try and win with shotguns, UMPs, pistols, or do you take the eco here, allow them to get to match point and have to get 7 rounds in a row? So pick your poison moment.
I mean, they've won 3 gun rounds the entire game.
It's true.
So, what is the poison? Force it and hope for the best at this point? I mean, guns aren't working out, so you save for them. I don't know, this is a tough call. 14-8, CT side nuke. Money's overwhelming on the Astralis side. Even if you win with a force buy and lose players, you're still going to be limited in the round afterward.
Indeed.
But you kind of don't want to let this get to 15, especially on a CT set. If you can get momentum, we know it can happen.
There's Zonic there, looking very calm. This is going swimmingly for Astralis after losing both pistols as well. In a fantastic position here. They've broken the money, and I'm getting a little bit of intel here. Tarek, he's bought a scout. So maybe they are going to go for this one. He's still got around 2k in the bank, so maybe a partial buy this round. That makes sense. Like we said, maximum loss bonus to still get a 3,400 on top. So as long as you keep your money around the 1,800 to about 2k mark, you can buy into the next round. Hiko picks up a shotgun, not the auto shotgun, he goes to the max 7 this time. And certainly backs to the wall right now for Optic. So a partial investment, a couple of deagles popping in there as well. But Astralis, they'll be aware of the situation. They know they've got $3,400, pretty much that's it. And they're slowing things down. Maybe just go for the upper rush here. That's what you said. Like, when you know you're up against pistols, traditionally it's not a good idea to go for the straight up rushes. You don't know where the stacks normally lie. But these sort of scenarios, especially with the CTs can't hold like old Nuke above the squeaky door in that catwalk area, it's actually very viable to rush out squeaky and actually challenge the pistols head on.
Here's where we are, the MGM Grand.
Lovely
I
place.
think my room is just to the right. Yeah, I knew you would like Vegas.
I know. All my vices in one
of
place.
Sin. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
We'll just leave it here, Henry. Leave that baggage behind. What happens in Vegas? You can just stay here with all of it. Tarek looking for an opportunity with that scout, as you say, forcing into this. They've already lost Rush. They lose Mixwell, peeking aggressively toward Squeaky. Device gone low. He's trying to bait out shots. That works because guess who's there to pick up the damage? And those who try and peek back and return, it's Dupree. And it's all down to Tarek. Shooting gallery. Whew.
Yeah.
Get a double headshot there? Not quite.
Dupree, he must be almost at the 30 bomb now. He's got 26 kills. Fantastic.
I'm not impressed.
No, you won the 30?
It's got to be 30.
Well, he's going to have to find 4 kills this round if it's going to happen. But there it is, match points obtained by Astralis. Now it will take 7 rounds in a row for Optic. So they opted for this more conservative option. And now they do get a full buy here. 4 and 4s and the AWP for Mixwell. That's had a reasonable showing. And it's Device on the AWP though, and he seems to be hitting all the shots. To be fair, everyone on Astralis seems to be having a great half here. Zipex being the only player who's been quiet, but to be fair, there's not many kills left when everyone's just mopping up as they are right now.
Dupree, already inside of the fence with smokes down, is going to say, I've already gone down. Smoke's here. Get back up to the site and try and catch them off as Hiko sits on the floor. Potentially done now for Astralis. All they need is one more round. And gun rounds have not been favorable to Optic. Bomb dropped below the silo. They'll go back to grab it. Hiko still just sitting on his lonesome by that floor. They've got the shot on Dupree to start it off, which is forcing Astralis to slow down in that sense. Double stack as well for Mixwell and Rush over toward ramp. Tarek playing very passively at outer.
Well, they've got that man advantage now. Hiko picks it up. No shotguns this time. He's got the M4A4 in hand, playing towards upper. And looks like maybe towards ramp we will go. Zipex will be trying to wipe the pick here. This is his stomping ground, but Mixwell waiting with AWP. Doesn't hit the first shot though, and actually gets taken down on overcommitment perhaps.
Shot in from Rush. That'll slow down the take on ramp. He's got to back away though, can't commit to it. And unfortunately hasn't dropped down, but they do bring the vent player lower. That's going to be Nafly that holds on. He's trying to hear the door cues. He's gone into the site early. Kirby gets him. That forces retake now from the CTs. Bomb is going to be planted. 27 seconds, and Device aggressive toward the vents. Doesn't account for 2 to be there at the same time. Only manages 1, and Tarek catching off Glaive. Bomb is planted, but it's Kirby alone, 16 HP. It's low enough for Tarek and Rush with an AK. He can make this work. Flash won't fully blind him. It's to his right, too far to his right. And he knows they're above him. He knows they're right above him, but Rush reads it well, drops in, and we've got at least one more round.
We do indeed. Astralis managing to seemingly get back into every single scenario. They lose the first pick, and they manage to find something to work with there. I have to say, that's why, you touched on it, the headshot position towards ramp, that's why it's quite rarely used. As soon as you miss a shot, you're so committed at that point. In CS Source and then an original in 1.6 as well, that position is a lot more viable. There's no Molotovs in that game.
I mean, CS Source had hitboxes on a head the size of a watermelon, so...
It was just a very prominent position in that game, as you couldn't get flushed out, right? This game, you can get Molotovs, and as soon as you miss the first shot with the AWP, T's going to rush you and swarm you. It's much better to play defensive. That's why that position, as Mixwell has demonstrated, is normally best to be avoided. So we're going to round number 25 here, of course, after picking up the round. Staying alive, going to take 6 in a row now, slowly but surely getting back into it. But famous for Hiko here. He's had a very quiet game, I have to say. He's actually on 6 kills, Matt, and 21 deaths. And for a superstar signing, that's not looking too good.
It's not too good at all. And you had to wonder, Hiko, I imagine, facilitates the deal to get out of Liquid, always looking for the best opportunity, always a businessman. But his play style has to complement the team he joins. Kirby will take down Tarek. Good start for Astralis. Hiko limited to the hut once more. He's been almost desperate to get this game rolling. He hasn't had that position played into. Perhaps either in Astralis, knowing that he likes to play this position, haven't let him get rolling in that sense as he continues to look toward main entrance. Dupree slipped in below Hiko. He's inside of the hut, but not facing yet. And Device knows he's there. Immediately scopes in. Down he goes from above. Nafly doesn't even get a kill. Just falls to Glaive immediately. Rush is trapped in the corner, and that's it. That's done. Astralis. They read them so well and get every kill required.
Yeah, we have to remember as well, that's both pistols going in favor of Optic and still only picking up 9 rounds, and the gun rounds just looked like a struggle ultimately.
It also means that Astralis are the first team to move into the playoffs. They'll have tomorrow off. You'll see the Grand Canyon and drive through it with a nice Audi Quattro that won't get stuck. It also means they've won the group stages without winning a pistol round.
Yeah, that's kind of insane, isn't it? Well, there's always a question mark when a team wins a major. Are they going to replicate the form going forward in the big tournaments? It seems they're a bit of a curse sometimes in history, but they seem to be better than ever. That was a fantastic showing from them. You can't really take too much away from it. It's the first tournament for this one for Hiko. It's playing against the current champions of the world, and obviously they'll focus a little bit too heavily on strategies there, but still, it's an improvement for them. They're going to see whether they can kind of develop this team